Stop what you're doing because this property tax proposal could reshape the Florida housing market forever. I've been selling real estate in Boca for over 10 years, and I've had more clients reach out to me with questions about this than anything I can remember in recent history. So if you own a home, or if you're thinking about buying in the near future, you'll want to understand this and watch this video. There is a lot of noise out there. I'm gonna break down what is actually happening, what it can mean, and how it can impact the Florida housing market. I'm AJ Bergman, a local real estate broker here in Southeast Florida, and I spend every day watching how policy changes affect home values and the migration in and out of our state. So let's get right into it. Here's what actually just happened. The Florida House of Representatives advanced a proposal that could eliminate most non-school property taxes on primary residences. Before we get totally carried away here, this is not law yet. It still needs Senate approval and then 60% voter approval later in the year in 2026. So if this gets approved, it would take effect in 2027. So no, your tax bill is not just disappearing tomorrow, but the fact that this is moving forward is a huge deal. So why is this gaining traction right now? Property values have surged in recent years and tax bills have climbed right along with them. Many longtime homeowners, especially retirees, feel like they're being squeezed out of the homes they've owned for decades. Add that with Florida's push to remain one of the country's most tax-friendly states, and this idea has gained serious political traction. So what does this mean if you own a home? If this passes, homeowners could save thousands of dollars per year, and that means lower cost of ownership, more financial breathing room, and for many retirees, the ability to stay in their homes long-term. But whenever ownership becomes cheaper, the market certainly and will react. Here's where the market impact starts. If, and that is an important if, there aren't major caveats or changes added later. Here are 3 things that could possibly happen. 1, when ownership costs drop, affordability is going to improve. And when affordability improves, buyers will actually be able to afford to pay more for the houses they're bidding on. 2nd, homeowners may decide to stay put longer, which could restrict and tighten inventory. And 3rd, Florida already attracts buyers from high tax states like New York, New Jersey, California, Illinois. So if this passes, Florida becomes even more financially attractive to out-of-state buyers. Put all of these together, and that creates a ton of upward pressure on home prices. Here's how this could play out. Homeowners could save thousands and potentially see rising equity. Buyers can gain tax advantages, savings, and more purchasing power overall, but they could face more competition when bidding on houses. It's also possible that other external forces and legislative changes could balance things out a little bit. Now here's the part that most people just aren't talking about. Right now, property taxes help fund local services, including police and fire services, parks and recreation, and local roads and infrastructure. Luckily for parents and teachers, we don't have to worry about that because the part of the tax bill that helps fund schools was completely left out of this proposal. So the fact of the matter is, if a major revenue source disappears, it doesn't mean that the bills disappear along with it. They'll probably just be reassigned in one way or another. Right now, there is not like a finalized plan for replacing the expected lost revenue, and that's actually the biggest question that still remains. Ideas being tossed around include shifting the sales taxes, adding new fees, higher costs on non-homestead properties, or there's gonna be some spending cuts that go along with that. But nothing is set in stone yet. One thing is for certain, many lawmakers and their constituents are pushing hard for property tax relief to become a reality. Now, if it does become a reality, here's the absolute worst case scenario that critics are warning about. If replacement funds fall short, local governments could face major budget gaps. And that could lead to things like cuts to police and fire services, deteriorating roads and infrastructure, and new fees just popping up everywhere you look. Homeowners might save on taxes, only to pay them back in new and less predictable ways. So let's compare what the supporters and what the critics are saying. Supporters say this could protect homeowners from rising costs, help retirees remain in their homes longer, and strengthen Florida's overall tax advantage in the country. The critics, on the other hand, say it could reduce local funding, impact services, and shift costs elsewhere, and it could also introduce new fees. Here's my take as someone who's in the market every day. If this passes, I expect migration from out-of-state buyers, stronger housing demand, and an upward pressure on home prices, especially initially. But at the same time, I'm going to expect new local fees and assessments, funding shifts towards tourism and consumption taxes, and possible policy changes targeting non-homestead properties. So homeowners could win big, but the system overall will have to adjust in one way, shape, or form. So the big question is, will this actually pass? And if it does, where do home prices go from there? Drop your thoughts below.